Hey guys, so today I want to talk about a way of making currency in Path of Exile 2 that I feel like nobody is really talking about. And it's very surprising because this is a really good way of making money, up to divines, in fact, without having any investment into the game whatsoever. As long as you are in the end game, even at tier 1 maps, and maybe even earlier in tier 3, or not tier 3, act 3, cool, right? You can probably start making money off of this method. And that is through tablets. Now, you guys probably have a number of tablets sitting in your stash, right? And you're probably using them as you're going through your maps, as you're going through juicing your towers and things like that. But something I didn't learn about until about a week ago is that tablets are worth a lot of money, especially ritual tablets and breach tablets. Those are the two types of tablets that are worth the most money. And if you get good rolls on them, you can sell them for multiple divines, which is insane to me. I had a chatter tell me like, hey, I just made like 70 exalts off of selling this one tab. I'm like, what the heck? These are worth money? And yes, they are. And I'm going to give you guys a guide on what the prices are in terms of relative value because, you know, the economy changes every single day. Inflation is happening every day. So the price that I give you today might not be the same tomorrow, heck, even maybe a couple hours later, right? So I'll at least give you a relatively, overview guide of how to make money using tablets. And what I would say is this method is definitely recommended for, like I said, anybody who's in the end game, but there's a reason why these tablets are worth money, right? Basically, at the very, very end game, these tablets can help you juice your maps to a point where even if you're paying a divine, two divine, right, for a tablet, you're probably going to be getting back return more than that. But the thing is, that really is for people who are super juiced and in the end game. If you're still working your way through maps like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, heck, even up to maybe even tier 15, but you're just not juicing your rarity, for example, or if your ritual atlas or your breach atlas doesn't have that many points invested into it, this is still a very, very good way for you to make money using ritual tablets and breach tablets and tablets in general. Now, I mentioned ritual and breach tablets because those are going to be your best sources of money. And let's pull up this little spreadsheet that I have here. So I made this guide very, very simple, very, very short to talk about what you should do to make money with your tablets because you can make a ton of money. So before we hop into this, actually, I want to show you how much money you can make with these tablets. This is the Discord called the Forbidden Trove, or TFT, right? And this is where a lot of people sell their items and services and things like that in Path of Exile. And as you can see here, these are some posts about people selling their tablets. Like, look, 7 exalt each, 6 exalt each. This person actually sold their 6 exalt tablet, right? Or sorry, not exalts, divines. And then you have some with like, hundreds of exalts. This guy selling stuff for hundreds of exalts. Like, these tablets, like I said, sell for a lot of money. And when it comes to ritual tablets, look at this. This is just a random magic ritual tablet, and you can sell them for minimum 100 exalts each. So this is a lot of money. And I want to talk about, of course, right, what the rules are for selling these tablets. So here are some rules of thumb, right? First one, quantity is king. So basically any map with a good amount of quantity, or not map, tablet with a good amount of quality can be sold for a good amount of money. Whether it's ritual, breach, precursor, overseer, expedition, delirium, all of those tablets can be sold for some form of money. Now, as you can see here with ritual, well, rule number 2, rituals and breach are going to be the best and give you the most money. But the other things, you can still make some money off of them by selling quantity, right? Like, for example, here, precursor tablet, right? Not really worth a ton, but, if you have a number of, high quantity, you can still sell it for a good bit, like 10 exalts, 20 exalts, things like that. Now, the thing is, some of these are sold for low, right? But I think that those aren't really like actual sellers or people they just don't know how to do it. So quantity will give you some money, regardless of whether you're doing, delirium, expedition, whatever, right? They're all worth something. But at the end of the day, you're going to be getting a lot less money off of those. So maybe if you're later on in the game, like, you can just toss them up for like 20 exalts or something and be okay with that. But if you're not looking to make like 20 exalts, fine, you don't have to sell those, right? But ritual and breach are going to be the big money makers. Third rule of thumb, rarity is also good. I mentioned quantity is king, but rarity is also good. But you do need to have something else with it, right? And we'll go over what are those some other things down below. And then 4, of course, higher number of areas affected, the better, because that gives you more of the league, what is it, mechanic, right? The seasonal mechanic. And that will juice your maps even more. And that's very important for both breach and for ritual, because that's mainly what you're farming for, right? So these are the kind of rules of thumb that I have for these, selling tablets. Now, first off, ritual pricing guide. As I mentioned, ritual right now is the most expensive type of tablet. You can make, as I showed you, money off of just any random ritual tablet. So if you get a ritual tablet, you can just sell it, right? And it's not like you need ritual tablets to get more rituals. You can find them naturally on the map, right? But maybe if you have a ritual tablet that's not like the best, right? Maybe you just have some random like rolled ones, and you have a good amount of currency under you. You can use these tablets to juice further maps to get more ritual tablets, right? Because the more tablets you put onto your towers, the more ritual places you get to go to, and then the more tablets drop at the end, making more money. So at the end of the day, you will want to start running some of these, but you can sell a good number of them as well, as long as you're making a positive income of ritual tablets, right? Or tablets in general. So first off, additional reroll is big money. So these are in order of like what the value is, right? So this is the most expensive and this is the least expensive. So additional reroll is big money. As you can see here with this guy right here, additional reroll, multiple divines, right? Chance for omen, gonna be a little bit cheaper. Quantity, a little bit cheaper, right? So ritual tablets, additional reroll is king. Then you have chance of omen. Then you have reduced reroll costs. And then the other random magic ones aren't really as useful. But this next point right here, unrolled tablets, it would make sense that if magic tablets, just like a random magic tablet is selling for like 100 exalts, an unrolled one is probably going to sell for a little bit more, right? Because it doesn't cost really any money to invest in rolling tablets. All you need to put in is a transmute and an augment, and then you could potentially get a 2 divine tablet, multiple divine tablet, right? So I would expect, and I didn't see anybody selling the unrolled tablets, right? But I would expect that unrolled tablets are going to be more expensive than any random magic tablet for rituals. And as a result, you can make money off of basically any ritual tablet you can find. Now, next up, breach. This is the other one, right? And also, of course, when I'm talking about this, right? If you have quantity on top of this, that is even better. That is even more money. So if you have any of these plus quantity, right? Because if we look over here in the tablet section of the PoE2DB, you can see quantity is a prefix, whereas all these other things are suffixes. So if you roll quantity, or like as I mentioned, rarity, right? Quantity, of course, is the best. Rarity is number 2, right? These other ones don't really matter. You will get even more money, more juice off your tablets. And the same goes with reach, right? Except breach doesn't really have this whole thing where like anything can sell for like a good amount. I think breach you could probably sell for like the number of exalts just off of random ones, but it's definitely not like 100 exalt minimum for things like ritual. So what I would say for breach is quantity, of course, is still king. I think that pretty much if you don't have quantity on it, it's probably not going to sell for a ton. But if you get good quantity on it, you can sell it for quite a bit. As you can see here, this guy right here, breach tablets with quantity, right? Quantity 19%, range 10, 2 divines each, sold. All of these sold, right? So breach tablets are also good, especially when you have quantity on them. So quantity is king for breach, especially. And then, you can get a little bit more with like things like monster density, additional breach, things like that. These are just like a little bit of icing on the top, right? A little strawberry on the top. But in reality, if you want to sell a breach tablet, you're going to want to get quantity on it. So those are the two ones I would say that really are worth the most. Everything else, like I said, can be worth a little bit, but not really that much. As long as the other ones have quantity on them, you can sell them for a bit. But really, the big juicers are here in the ritual and the breach. And one thing to note is that you're probably seeing all these different costs and prices on here and people selling them. But what I would say is that unless you're selling in bulk, and this is just my conjecture, right? Unless you're selling in bulk, you're probably not going to get the same prices as these guys. You're probably going to be able to sell a lot more when you're selling in bulk in TFT because obviously when you're working through the PO trade site, right? A lot of these people are going to be AFK or like they might not respond to you. And that's just really annoying. But as a result, there's going to be and there's a lot more people selling on here too, right? So you might be able to find good deals on here. But as a result, people who are really about efficiency, right? When you're here at the super end game of maps, you don't want to be spending 10, 20 minutes just trying to get one tablet. If you can get, let's say, 6 tablets each, or like 6 tablets, right, at one time from one person, you're probably going to be willing to pay a bit of a premium on that. So I would say that all these prices on TFT are probably a little bit more inflated for tablets, at least compared to what you can sell in nature, right? In actual PO trade, but you're still going to be able to sell them for quite a bit. So that's just a little bit of a disclaimer for you guys. I know that you see all these crazy prices on here. And again, some of these tablets can sell for crazy prices, especially for these ones, right? This is not in bulk, so you could probably sell them on PO trade for this much. But for things like this, things like these ones, right? The magic ones, you might sell these for like 50 exalts, 60 exalts, 70 exalts, something like that. Probably not the 100 exalt that people are getting here on TFT. But if you did want to start selling them in bulk, you can come on TFT and do it yourself, right? So there's that. So let's hop into game right now, and I'm gonna show you how I would do this. Now, I'm, been running maps for a bit, and as a result, I have a little bit of a stash of tablets. And as a result, I can be a little bit more free with what I do with my tablets. You guys might be a little bit different if you are just starting off or don't have that huge repository of tablets going on. But let's just start, for example, and I'll explain different scenarios, right? So we have 3 maps right here that, or not maps, tablets right here that I haven't rolled into yet. One with 10, one with 9, and one with 7, right? So the 7's gonna be worth the least out of all these, but let's go roll these, and let me get some more transmutes as well, and augs. I'm running out of those in my inventory. There we go. So let's go roll these, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? Okay. So quantity, breach splinters, and rare monsters, not amazing. We're going to keep this over here. Rarity of items, breaches spawn additional rare monsters. If I was desperate, right, potentially I could try to sell this for something, maybe like 40 exalts or something like that. But neither of these I'm going to sell. This one, same thing, 7, not great, and only rarity, right? So these ones have a good number of maps in range, right? 7, 10, 9. So because these aren't great, but have a good number of ranged maps in range, right? I would run these. I'm not going to go and sell these. I'm just going to run these. Now, these ones are ones that are lower ones, and I've rolled some of these as well. Well, 8's not that low, right? 7's not that low. We have some 6 and 5s, which in my opinion, are pretty low. So let's roll some of the ones that we haven't rolled yet, and then see how they end up. And these ones are already rolled, so we'll see how that goes. Ooh, 20 quantity. Now that one could sell for a little bit. So we're gonna keep this and sell that on the trade website. Maybe not TFT again. That's for bulk. But 5 maps in range, not the best, but 20 quantity, that is worth a decent amount of money. Next one, we're going to roll these ones, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What do we get here? Rare monsters, experience gain, experience gain. So not great, right? None of these are great. So what I'm going to go do now is, again, these are low number of maps. So if you don't have that many breach tablets, right, just run these. Just run these ones and, use this to try to get more breach tablets later. But because I have a good number of them, I'm going to go and re-roll these, right? And they have a chance to be a higher number of maps. As you saw there, it is now a 10 map one. And now we can identify it and see what we get. So we get that, put this in here. Rare monsters, not great. I can choose to run this as well, right? This is a high number of maps. And these two we can save for the future when we get a third breach tablet that doesn't have that much number of maps on it. So another like 5 or 6 or something like that. So that's how I would do my tablet rolling, right? The high ones, right? The high ones that are not so great, I'll run them, right? The ones with 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'll run these. And then the ones with like 5 and 6, if they're not great, I re-roll them. And if they roll well, then I sell them. That's how I would do it. And, you know, for you guys, it may vary depending on the number of tablets that you have. For example, if you don't have that many, you might want to run these low ones, right? But either way, hopefully this video helps you guys figure out how to make some money off of your tablets. Because again, I feel like nobody's talking about it. And this is a really good way for anybody, literally anybody, as long as they are in the end game, to make money up to divines, right? So if this video helped you guys out, let me know down in the comment section below, as well as doing the best thing to support the channel, hitting that subscribe button. Hitting that button lets me know that you enjoy the content, as well as support the channel in a completely free way. But additionally, I stream on twitch.tv/MesoXshrew every single night starting at 10 p.m. PST. So I would love to see you guys there, but if not, hopefully I get to see y'all on the next video. All right, guys, peace out.